Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mike Pospis. I have a law firm called Pospis Law PLLC. I'm located in downtown Manhattan in New York City, and in my practice, I focus primarily on representing plaintiffs in employment discrimination, sexual harassment, and personal injury cases. So today, I'm going to be talking about employment discrimination in a general sense. This is going to be an overview of this area of law. I've been doing it for quite some time, and I find it fascinating. So, just to give you a sense of the scope of the presentation, the law that I'm going to be discussing is the law, uh, federal law, Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, codified at 42 U.S. Code 2000 little e, and then the regulations associated with that statute. This is Title 29 of the Code of Federal Regulations, Subtitle B, Chapter 14, Part 1600. These are the regulations that pertain to practice before the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Um, I'm going to be focusing only on private sector employees. Public sector employees do indeed have rights under the federal and local anti-discrimination laws, but they have some additional substantive and procedural requirements they need to meet. So I'm going to focus here strictly on private sector employees employed by private sector employers. And the law that I'm going to be discussing, again, is focused on Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, as interpreted by, obviously, the Supreme Court of the United States, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, and state court here in New York. Okay, so I've broken this down into three parts. This is going to be what I would consider a miles wide and inches deep treatment. So I'm going to try to hit the high points. For those of you who are listening or watching who practice in this area, I am afraid that I'm not going to be telling you anything that you don't already know and aren't already familiar with. For those of you who know nothing about this practice area, hopefully by the end of this, you will have a sense of the basics of this practice area. And at the very least, if somebody calls you on the phone, you pick up the phone and they say they think they have an employment discrimination case, you will at least know or have a sense of what questions to ask and what information to get. So part one is going to be the legal landscape and a general overview of Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Part two will be claims that can be asserted under this statute, and then part three will be damages.